Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Below the Bicep. Here we have Braden here today.
What's up?
How you going, Braden?
Pretty good, man. You?
Good. Wanted to just talk about some, mental health topics today. Braden's an expert on that. Nah, just kidding. But yeah, how you been?
Good, bro. Good, bro. How's your mental health? Tell me.
My mental health. Well, recently I've been, kind of at a low point in my life a couple months ago. My grandfather passed away and stuff like that, so kind of went back into a circle of watching porn, not working out, sleeping late, going out partying, drinking alcohol to like escape all my problems. And yeah, so it hasn't been good, but I'm out of it now. I'm getting out. I'm healing.
What did you do to help yourself?
What I do? Well,
Said you got out of it.
I'm getting out of it right now. And first thing I did was really like just look at myself in the mirror, and I was like, what's going on? What are you doing? This is not you. And I think I was just at such a low point that I was like, there was no way but up. And I just told myself, hey, you got to get out of this. And I was just like, time to, work on myself again and quit all these bad habits. So, right now I'm doing like a 30-day run every day, 30 minutes. So that's been helping me because I wake up at 7:30 every day and I go run, and that clears my head for the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been helping me.
Probably sunlight too, because like sunlight, you're getting vitamin D, you're getting your body moving, blood flowing, everything like that.
Yeah.
For me, one thing that I do first thing in the morning is I try to get my sunlight. It's kind of guru advice that everybody likes to give is your sunlight, your cold shower,
Yeah.
your sauna, whatever. What I like to do though is definitely get my sunlight. Usually we'll go to the beach, get in the water a little bit too. I realized that it improves my mood to get in salt water.
Yeah.
I have a theory. I don't know if this is just placebo effect or not, but like the vitamins and minerals that my body take from getting in that salt water kind of just improves my mood, and I get tan, so it helps me look good. I need to work on it right now. This white shirt probably isn't helping, but it's all right.
When you look good, you feel good,
That's right. That's right.
So you've been, I think being in nature as well helps a lot. Just being in nature. I think, especially living in Miami, it's just buildings everywhere,
Yeah, so like for me, I'm from Washington State, so I have a lot of like mountain ranges. I've got literally like a full-on forest that I could go out in my backyard. Yeah. Whereas here we've got, a pool and some chairs to hang out by. So the beach is probably, for me at least, the closest thing to something that is nature. I mean, is that what you kind of do as well here in Miami, or what has been something to? Is there a forest anywhere here? I haven't seen it.
Actually, on campus, there's like a nature preserve that it has some like a bunch of trees and stuff. So that's where I usually go run. I run there and then around campus. But for me, back home, I live on a mountain, so I wake up and I just see mountains everywhere. So I miss that a lot, and I think just being in nature, it relaxes you, it calms your mind. And
there was a study that I read. It was viewing the ocean for 20 minutes or viewing at night like a skyline of a city, which that has nothing to do with nature, so I'm not sure why, but that actually releases dopamine and improves your mood over a long extended period of time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because like it mimics stars or something. I don't know, maybe.
That would make sense.
Yeah. Now we got artificial stars, kind of.
Yeah, right. To improve my sleep, one thing that I've done too was, so blue light, as a lot of people know, basically what it is it's a light that is emitted from your phone, laptop, TV, and so that's why they say you shouldn't view your phone or anything an hour before bed. Some even say 3 hours, so it all varies based off who you're listening to, but long story short, blue light is what basically is mimicking daylight. So when your brain sees blue light off of your phone, it's telling your brain, hey, it's daylight, we need to be up and awake and moving. And so that's why it's so bad, because when you're going to sleep, you're wanting to achieve the complete opposite. Red light is something that I actually installed in my apartment here. So on Amazon, it's $20. Put it on my ceiling. They're red lights that are remote controlled. So I turn off all the lights in my apartment, turn on the red lights, and what that does is it's the lowest light on the Kelvin spectrum.
Okay.
So it's what is going to be the closest to mimicking actual nighttime. And so that's what increases your melatonin production. For those who don't know, melatonin is basically a chemical that causes you to go to sleep. So melatonin production is increased, and therefore I'm able to fall asleep much quicker.
Yeah, I realize like when I'm on my phone, like right before I sleep, I take way longer to like fall asleep. So yeah, makes sense.
And the quality of your sleep also goes down. Like my REMs, I have this Whoop. It tracks my sleep. And so basically my REM sleep, in addition to the amount of time I'm able to fall asleep, both of those increased. They improved.
So what time do you go to sleep? Like,
as of lately, I've been getting up. This is another like little guru self-help talk, but like 4:30 is my wake up, and then I'm in bed by 8, falling asleep roughly around like anywhere between 8:20 to 8:30.
oh, that's pretty early.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, wait, so how do you? Because I know for like me, I can't go to sleep like until like maybe after 10, sometimes 12. So how do you like go to sleep so early?
So I used to have. The reason why I used to not be able to do that is I had FOMO. So I'd be like, well, especially on weekends, is, you know, my friends are texting me saying, hey, let's go out, hang out, even if it's not necessarily partying, just doing something fun that's at 9 or 10 o'clock. So that has definitely taken a toll on my social life when it comes to going to bed that early. But what I've realized is that I'm able to have more of so-called work-life balance by having these hours of sleep, which is I'm getting up so early, I'm up before everybody else. And so between the hours of 4:30 and maybe we'll say 7:30, 8:30, I'm able to work without getting a single call, email, text, etc. And so I'm able to just focus right then.
Yeah.
And then when I start getting texts from my buddies who are waking up at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, so on, I'm able to actually be more aware of the conversation I'm having with them and not have to be sidetracked and going back and forth between my phone and work. So now I'm able to have more of a social life towards the end of the day. For me now, it's probably between 5 and 8 or 4:30, 7:30 roughly.
Okay.
But now I'm at least able to track it, manage it, and also block out that time in my schedule to say, hey, this is when I hang out with my friends or whatever I got to do.
So you said you got more balance by waking up early. So
yeah.
So
the only thing that I really had to sacrifice after I've been doing this now for a while that I've realized is going out late at night on the weekends.
Okay.
So even on weekends, I'm going to bed at like 8:30, and that makes me sound like a grandpa, but I'm a 22-year-old in like a 85-year-old body sometimes. So
you have a wise mind. Don't worry.
I try to think so. I'm an old soul, bro. But yeah, going out on weekends was the only thing I really had to sacrifice. And what I realized is if that's going to increase my productivity, still give me a social life, and with both of those put together, increase my overall like fulfillment and happiness, I'm willing to make that sacrifice by not going out 2 days a week.
As you touched on happiness, do you think we should be chasing this feeling of happiness all the time?
So happiness is something that I believe is definitely fleeting. So joy and happiness kind of coexist.
Okay.
Fulfillment is what I view as more so long-term happiness. So if somebody were to ask you, hey, in your life right now, are you happy? What I really think they're trying to get the answer to is, hey, are you fulfilled? And what I mean by fulfillment is it's by doing a lot of things that are difficult, something that is sustainable over a long extended period of time, that is actually going to improve your life and potentially your family or friends' life, that people just who are around you in general. So examples of this could be improving your body in the gym, your overall physique, making more money at work, having a daily routine that, like mine, is not necessarily easy to follow. If I'm being brutally honest, it's extremely difficult, especially at the start. But it does bring me more fulfillment because like I said, I'm doing something that is difficult, but I'm gonna reap the rewards, down the road, and it's kind of delaying gratification, if you will.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys right now, they're chasing, well, people in general, they're chasing this feeling of happiness, and I think once you try to find a purpose, you can bear any feeling. I think, well, you have to just be able to like get through those emotions, and once you have a purpose, you can get through anything, but you have to stick to that purpose.
You mentioned that you kind of made a transition from being in a not so good mental state and you transition to improve that. You still are improving that. And for you, what was the mental switch that really forced the change from just thoughts and putting it into action? Like, what is something that people can learn that you've implemented where it's like, hey, this is what caused me to actually take action and not just stay in that dark place?
Yeah, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and just be like, you don't want to be here anymore, which is really hard. You know, it's hard to like look at yourself and be like, oh, I'm doing all these bad things, drinking alcohol or watching porn or whatever it is. You have to look at yourself and just be like, I want to get out of this spot in my life. I don't want to be here anymore, and just kind of set a goal. I think setting goals for yourself is an easy way to like, get out of that dark spot, and having a schedule. I think wake up and doing this at a certain time and then doing this, you have like a more plan to your day instead of just going about and just lazing around. I think once you have a plan, it's easier for you to follow, and then it helps get out of that rut that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think having a schedule is really good.
I think that kind of goes along with the fact that our brain is meant to basically chase things that brings comfort. And so coming out of that dark place, I think that's why it's so difficult for a lot of people is their brain is seeking comfort. So it's easy to stay in bed after you wake up, and it's easy to hit that snooze button, or it's easy to eat junk food that is going to, hurt your micro gut biome. I don't know if you've heard of this, but like serotonin, the happy chemical, 90% of it is stored in your gut. The other 10% is in your brain. So people who are saying like, oh, that they're in a depressed or sad mood all the time and they're eating like crap, part of that is contributed from what they're eating alone, because their serotonin isn't necessarily in the right space, if you will.
Interesting. That makes a lot of sense, because most Americans are pretty depressed. I'm not gonna lie, and I think, well, now you say that, it makes sense, because a lot of Americans eat a lot of fast food, a lot of processed food, and if you're saying that 90% is in your gut, I mean, if your gut's bad, I mean, it's just gonna fuck with your whole emotions. So I think, a lot of people should eat more healthier now that you say that.
And I'm no like I'm no expert in this. I'm more in line with an educated retard. But I think that for me, what has helped me, because I've been in a dark place as well in my life, where I was literally got to the point to where I didn't want to be alive anymore. I was on the phone with my mom. I never necessarily considered taking that into action, but I was in such a dark place to the point I was just like, didn't want to be alive. I was literally at the gym working out. I remember I was doing squats in the Smith machine, and I was literally like in tears in between sets. And I was like, dude, you're in a dark place if that's what you're doing, because the gym should be somewhere where that's helping your mood.
Right.
So for me, one was what I eat, two, my sleep, and the other was environment. The people who I surround myself with now are all positive people like yourself, people who are also striving to improve their life. So with that being said, what is for you, like when it comes to environment, we're college age students, a lot of people are drinking, smoking all the time. Do you have any thoughts on when it comes to how your environment affects you?
Yeah, I think, well, the people you surround yourself with is, who you become. If you're surrounded by 5, I don't know, bad friends, you're going to become the 6th. If you surround yourself with 5 good influential people, you become the 6th. So I think a lot of college kids now are like, they're also trying to escape the real world. This is their last hoorah before they have to, start working and really deal with real life problems. So I think a lot of them are trying to escape those problems by drinking, smoking, having sex with a whole bunch of different people, stuff like that. So I think we kind of have to change that stigma of what college kids should be doing, and not just partying all the time.
And as far as escaping, do you think that with college age students especially, that form of escaping, being drinking, smoking, do you think social media is also in line with that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, everyone, they're on their phone like almost half the day now, and it's just mind-numbing scrolling. I look at people at Starbucks when I'm, people watching or whatever, and they're just like zombies, like scrolling forever, and then they try to also get gratification from social media as well,
Mhm.
and then that fucks with their mind. It's not good for them,
It's like seeking validation constantly, and when you're given it, then you just want the next hit because
Yeah.
it's releasing that dopamine.
Yeah, the dopamine hit.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of our dopamine receptors, as you said, it's not as good as it, is right now.
Yeah, so there was a study I read. It was in the early 1900s. I don't know the exact year, but early 1900s, if there was a room of people listening to somebody playing the piano, that would release the equivalent amount of dopamine as to watching TikTok videos today.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
yeah.
That's crazy. I think, yeah, we've come a long way from, like getting instant gratification, It's been a lot more desensitized our brain,
Well, it's seeking that comfort. So when you're
Yeah.
getting those constant dopamine hits, your brain is wanting to stay there.
Yeah.
But for survival-based reasons, that doesn't necessarily make sense. For evolutionary-based reasons, it doesn't, because everything that people need to do in order to survive is the opposite of comfort. So
Right.
oftentimes, I've often thought in my life is seeking discomfort is often what brings the most fulfillment and brings me the most joy and happiness. So usually, there's a common saying like, if it hurts, maybe you're doing something right.
Yeah, true. And if you think about it, back in caveman days, you got gratification from killing an animal and getting food and providing for your family.
Mhm.
That's what gave you gratification. Now it's just so accessible, just on your phone, just scrolling. Yeah.
Joe Rogan's podcast, I forget the name of the guy. It was a guest he had on, who spent time in Africa.
I know.
Do you know that guy's name?
Oh my God, Mike Chong or something like that. Some like an Asian dude, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, do you know how he made his money? By the way, really quick.
Yeah, by selling paintings.
But he got shares of stock. I think it was in like Facebook early on.
Yeah.
So then when he kept them and didn't sell them, it's like the equivalent of like $200 million. So now he just does whatever he wants and goes to Africa. But so this guy, he went to Africa. Long story short, the people that he were living with in Africa, they were some of the happiest people that he had ever met.
Mm.
Reason being is that their life is basically family, one, and then they're trying to literally survive. And so their happiness is bringing food back to their family, and just spending time with their loved ones. And so social media doesn't really even exist. And he was also mentioning that like the United States, that's where people jump off of buildings and commit suicide. That's what they knew it for, which is really unfortunate and really sad that that's what we're known for in some countries.
Yeah.
So I guess the overall lesson that I took from it, though, is one, happiness isn't necessarily from modern day things like your phone, doing things that are going to bring that instant gratification. And so focusing more on, I guess, difficult things is what's going to bring me fulfillment.
Yeah. Finding a purpose.
Yeah.
In life. So I think it's about that time, or chugging time, but it's not going to be a normal chugging challenge because this guy only drinks agua.
Yeah. Only water for
Only
me.
water.
Or I get my milk. I get goat or regular cow milk. It's unpasteurized.
Yeah.
And I get it from Amish farmers. So I got my boys here giving me my milk, unpasteurized milk. Pasteurized milk is bad. There's a tip for you. So
Yeah.
Really quick, pasteurizing is basically heating up the milk itself to kill a lot of bacteria.
Okay.
And it's actually illegal technically to sell unpasteurized milk. So I'm getting this, under the
black market.
Yeah.
Wait.
But anyways, the bacteria that is actually being killed, some of it is healthy for your gut. Like there is such thing as healthy bacteria for your gut.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more nutrients. So all I drink is water, unpasteurized cow milk, goat milk, and then the next thing that I have is organic coconut water. So organic coconut water provides a lot of nutrients when it comes to actually getting hydrated.
Mm.
So if you've ever thought about, like, you have chapped lips, right? And you lick your lips and it feels a little bit hydrated because there's saliva on your lips, but then after the fact, your lips are even more dry.
Yeah.
It's because water can actually hydrate you to a certain point, but not all the way. Coconut water is actually much better at hydrating you, so that's why I have coconut water. If I ever am dehydrated, electrolytes, etc. But back to the chugging.
Yeah. So you ready for this?
Let's do it, bro.
You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose.
I don't have that much water left. I've been
Don't worry,
drinking it earlier.
That's all right. That's all right. I've always lost all these challenges, so maybe I'll win today.
Okay, all right.
Maybe. You ready?
All right, let's
Ready?
go.
Cheers, man. To Allah.
Yeah, you got me.
That was good. That was good.
All right, bro.
I feel so much better now. I feel hydrated. I feel like I can take the world on. All right, cheers, guys. Hope you enjoyed that video. Check this guy out. I'll have his Instagram below and stuff like that. But yeah, thank you, Braden.
Cool. Thanks,
It was
man.
nice. It's good. It was good.